Okay. Okay. Hi, Gabrielle Sappenfield. I nicknamed Gabby or Gigi. Gigi seems to be easier for a lot of people, so that's what I tend to go by. Um, Fellowship is what I'm really interested in. I don't know where to look in this camera, so sorry. I'm kind of looking at me. Um, I found Petsy because I needed therapy myself. And as a therapist, I haven't been practicing that long, 3 years. It was really hard to find even a narrative that resonated with something that I believed in. And so finding you guys was a godsend. And reading that book just said to me, I need to know more about this. This is exactly what I want to know about, and what I'd like to give my own clients. So it's very exciting to think that I could be part of this team, and make a difference to not only continuing myself and improving, and the knowledge base that I just have to know, but to bring that like out into the world. It's so effective. Um, I feel like because I've had two trainings, that I know just enough to almost be dangerous. I don't have supervision to kind of bounce around some of this stuff, and it's a trial by fire a lot of the times. And the thought of being able to have a group of colleagues that are also as excited and interested and knowledgeable to help me on this journey and to help me learn is just, I can't put words to it. It would just be amazing. My own personal experience was my supervisor was very lacking. And it was difficult for me. Only I didn't have anybody to like bounce off, like, how did I feel about that? Or how is that affecting me? And had to do lots and lots of research on my own. So this type of group, amazing. When I would go to my own supervisor with what I knew, with maybe how she could add her expertise into it, she would say, tell me, I don't know. I don't know about any of this. Teach me. So I ended up actually teaching my group at Balance Counseling and Wellness about Petsy, but just feeling like, man, I know a small amount, what I really need to know. So my strengths and weaknesses, I'm kind of reading off the side, would definitely be that I am a go-getter. I can take command of a group. I can take command of a session. I don't let them go haywire. I don't have any issues with a gentle confrontation or a direct confrontation. Um, my weaknesses would probably be I waited too long in life to get on this. Um, I'm very compassionate, and I have to sometimes catch myself and remember that when my clients leave, I hand back their issues and I don't wake up in the morning and think about them. But sometimes that does happen. Uh, what adjectives would describe my personality? Oh, I guess I'm kind of fiery. I am genuine. Um, I am thoughtful. I'm very fun. I like to humorous, like to laugh. I think that's really important. I'm loyal. Um, what else about me? I don't know. Um, I'm open, and I love to learn, and I never feel like I have all the answers. And I'm always ready for someone else's side of stuff. And I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by that diversity in the world, and I'm always learning, and I just love that. How am I in a group? I think I'm good. I like groups. I can take a lead in a group. I've led groups. Um, I can be a cog if that's what we need. I can help build structure. I can follow directions. just fine. I feel like when a group is working really well, that it's just absolutely wonderful. Um, so like that. Let's see, hold on. How people experienced me in the groups that I'm aware of is they ask me for advice, my own balance counseling and wellness where I work. My supervisor wants me to get a certification so I can help with the LC, LCP, LPCs. That's it. Yeah. With their own supervision. I looked into that with Petsy. It's very time consuming. Still thinking about getting that certification, but we'll see if this goes, if you guys take me. This was definitely my priority. Yeah, so hold on, I want to put this on pause. Okay. I have a question here about endeavors. And I kind of stuck on that one because there's physical endeavors that I strove to do and were real difficult, but it was a physicality like running a marathon, or learning how to play an instrument. I think when I think of life endeavors, other than roles of like becoming a mom or a wife, going back to school was a really big one for me. And I went back when I was older, and I had to work and save up enough money so I could pay for it in cash, and that was hard. The work itself was lovely. And I think the most difficult part of it, which is still a difficult part for me, which is what I struggle with, is being is getting my feelings out in a cohesive way, especially on paper. When we were studying, everything was kind of all about us, and we had to take what we were studying and internalize it, and then we were like our own guinea pigs. And I was really unfamiliar with that kind of expression. And so things like applying for a job where you have to kind of talk about yourself, and even this right now is something that I really struggle with. And that I work on all the time. As a therapist, you have to be able to do that. It's more about your client, obviously. But unless you become skillful on your own, sometimes it's hard to be skillful with clients. So I would have to say that just this whole process, I'd love to continue my education with you, and that this process is one of the things that I would say. I don't know if it comes naturally, but I'm willing to do whatever I have to do, how many times I have to do it. So I'd have to say this, yeah. Interacting with others, I would have to say, gave that one some thought to. I can't say that I've ever had something coming at me that was incredibly negative. The okay. Okay. So yes, I have received feedback on expressing myself, and kind of interesting because kind of rolled into the question before this. My supervisors at school just were asking me for more, for deeper. Don't hold back. Let's really dig down, and let's see what you have to say. Which I felt was really helpful. But as far as organization, before I went back to school. I was a job developer at South Suburban College for 8 years, and we ran grants. And we had to be incredibly organized because we were always being audited, and there'd be findings, and never had any problems with any of those types of things. In fact, what I really enjoyed about that job, not only helping people, which was kind of a stepping stone to go, I think I want to take this in another direction. And I think I'd like to help people in a different way. But I would take those grants and just run with them, and really come up with some interesting components that weren't necessarily in there, but because grants are real flexible, that I really, really enjoyed. So that was a real positive experience the whole time I was there. And that leads to the next question, which is complaining with a boss or a supervisor. There were times, especially running those grants, where I would need to get more people on board, or I would need to, and I'd have to do that by expressing big job, delegating what, writing it all out. I don't really know if that was a complaint or not. But I would have to express that, in a way that I could get people to say, hey, yeah, you can get an intern, or you can get 2 interns to work with you. And I would do it the same way if I had to do it over again. The decision-making process was a lovely thing because it was pretty much up to me. I would get these help write the grants. I'd have some ideas of what we were looking for. Are we going to train in computers, or are we going to, train with truck drivers, or whatever it was we were going to do? We're going to help people with GEDs. And so I was kind of able to construct these things when I had it on my own. And if I needed to go bigger than what we had, then that's when I would have to talk to my boss about certain aspects of it. There were times when I had to get approval to go into certain areas to try and recruit. I would have to just say that, if there was a complaint about aspects of what I had done in the past, it would probably not be anything major. So I think that my decision making was good. My grants were all successful. They were really fun to do. I loved being in service to people like that. I think if I had to do things differently, I think I would just be more dedicated to trying to get my colleagues that were running their own grants more inspired to think outside of the box. They were very linear with what they did. Some of them weren't successful, but they were doing it for so long that, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of an attitude. And then when I came in and I was new, I just thought, wow, this is amazing. So maybe that's what I would do differently, just to try and get more people motivated. But really, that's it. Government leadership. Oh, okay. So, depending on what, right? If we're going to talk about our own personal government, loads of problems. And I'll have to be completely transparent. After our last administration, I was getting so internally upset on the daily that the last year of Trump's administration, I had to just stop reading the news because I couldn't take what I was seeing. I believe in clean water and clean air and rights of people and all people. So that was very difficult. It was a very difficult time. I think it was a difficult time for a lot of people. Yes, I counseled people that were in support of what happened. And no, I don't think that in the therapy room is any place for me to start voicing any opinions that I had. Um, I, they weren't there to really talk about government. And if it did come up, I would just let them talk about whatever it was they needed to. Some people were coming in with literal issues that were caused in the family because of the polarity of what was happening. I would try and guide people to be open. I would try and guide people to see like the similarities, where the nugget of truths there, or what is similar with both, and just encourage that openness. But as far as me thinking that that was any kind of platform, no, no, I would not do that. If I was offered this fellowship, the only hesitation that I had is, I'm sure you guys know that I'm a customer. I've been being counseled for at least a year, and the only hesitation that I had was, what do we do? What do we do in this situation? My spouse knew right away, that this was something that I wanted to study, that I was so all in on this. I've been doing what I can, registering for part 1 and part 2, and I actually had part 3, but it's not being offered right now, just to make sure that I was going to get this enrichment. And if there was any possible chance that I could actually study and do this fellowship, that was going to be a priority. So that the only hesitation was having some feelings about, well, where do we go with this, or what do we do with my partner? And we discussed that, and he knew from the beginning that that's where I wanted to go, and I wasn't sure how we were going to manage that, or I thought maybe we'd be done with therapy, but we're not going to be done with therapy for a while. So he's perfectly fine with referring and moving to another therapist, and really that was the only hesitation that I had. Everything else, I'm just very excited. I really want to do this. Where do I see myself in 5 years and 10 years? Counseling. And what should you know about me is that if I would love to work with you all, but with the training that I'm really hoping to get, there's such a need, where I am, South Side Chicago, Flossmoor, for underprivileged people to know this. And where I work, I can do out of pocket, and I can set fees, and my supervisor is fine with that. And I have many clients that I charge them $20. I do. And if they can afford more, up to 110. And I have clients that soak this up like a sponge, and they tell me things like, why didn't anyone ever tell me this sooner? No matter, even coming in with trauma, and coming in with these very fragmented relationships, they're so eager. There's this big group of people that are so eager. They're in such need of knowing this, that I feel like with my training, I would love to start something local, train other people, or continue what I'm doing. But I would love to do something in the future where I can bring this to people who can't necessarily afford it, because the trickle effect to wholeness and positive relationships or working relationships can really be an effective change in this like generational trauma that I see every day. And I just think that is so worth it. And so, yeah, that's what you should know about me. Other than I have 4 attack cats that like to jump in like while I'm in session, which I'm trying. Love to cook, love to run. I exercise daily. um, I have a great friend circle. I used to sing, uh, lost my voice. And I really love people. And I really love my job. I'm so thankful that I really put myself first finally and did something that I wanted to do since 2002. And I just want to keep exceeding and keep learning, you know. Yeah. And and that's pretty much me. So I hope to hear from you. I'll upload my resume with my supervisors. And it's been a joy training with you guys. And, you know, fingers crossed, you'll say, yeah, she's worth it. And if not, well, then I'll have to knock on your door again next year. So we'll see. Okay, you guys, bye.